The Day Kanye West Lost Everything Vertical Bar, a heartwarming story. Kanye West was one of the most famous musicians in the world. He made amazing music, wore cool clothes, and always had something to say. Millions of people loved him. His songs were played on radios everywhere, and his concerts were packed with fans who screamed his name. But fame can be tricky. It makes you feel like you have everything: money, power, attention. But sometimes it's not real. Sometimes, when you lose what you thought you had, you find something even better. This is the story of the day Kanye West lost everything and found something more important than fame. It started on a rainy morning in Los Angeles. Kanye woke up in his huge mansion. The house was full of expensive things: gold records on the walls, designer shoes in the closet, and a big kitchen with food he barely touched. He looked at himself in the mirror and said, "I'm the best." That's something he used to say a lot. That day he had a meeting with his manager, some record company bosses, and a few reporters. They wanted to talk about his new album, but when he got there, no one smiled. Everyone looked serious. Kanye, his manager, said, "We're done." Kanye blinked. "What do you mean?" "The label doesn't believe in your music anymore. You've been difficult to work with. You missed deadlines. You canceled shows. People are tired of your drama." Kanye felt like someone had punched him in the stomach. He tried to argue, but they just handed him a paper and left. He walked out of the building with nothing. No phone calls, no interviews, no plans. For the first time in years, no one was watching. At first, Kanye was angry. He posted wild messages online. He called people names. He told the world they didn't understand him. But after a while, the comments stopped helping. Fans moved on. Friends disappeared. Even his social media accounts were taken away because of the things he said. One night, he sat alone in a small apartment he had rented for cheap. It was quiet. Too quiet. He looked around and realized how lonely he was. "I used to have everything," he whispered. But then he remembered something. Something he hadn't thought about in a long time. His mom. She used to tell him, "Fame won't love you back, Kanye. People will." His mom passed away a few years ago. She was always kind, always patient. She believed in him not because he was famous, but because he was her son. Tears rolled down his face. "I forgot who I was," he said quietly. The next morning, Kanye did something different. He took off his fancy jacket, put on an old hoodie, and walked outside. He didn't care if anyone recognized him. He walked through the city until he saw a small community center. There was music coming from inside. Kids were dancing, singing, laughing. He peeked in. A teacher was teaching them how to make beats, using old computers and broken headphones. Kanye walked in and said, "Hey, can I help?" The teacher looked surprised. "Do you know music?" Kanye nodded. "Yeah. I used to do this for a living." So he stayed. He showed the kids how to mix sounds, how to write lyrics, how to turn their feelings into songs. They didn't care that he used to be famous. They just liked his energy, his ideas, and how much he cared. For the first time in years, Kanye felt alive again. Weeks turned into months. He kept coming back to the community center. He taught kids, listened to their stories, and helped them dream big. Some of them even wrote songs together. One day, a girl named Maya asked him, "Why are you doing this? You could be rich again, right?" Kanye smiled. "Being rich isn't everything. Being real is." Maya nodded like she understood. Then she added, "You should make another song. We'll help you." So they did. They worked for weeks, mixing sounds, writing lines, recording late into the night. And when they were done, they made a video and uploaded it online. No marketing, no big budget, just a group of kids and a man who had lost everything, making music from the heart, and something amazing happened. People loved it. Fans came back, not because he was famous again, but because he sounded honest, real, like the old Kanye, the one who made music because he loved it. A small record label reached out. "We want to help you share your music again." But this time, Kanye had rules. "I only work with kids from the community center," he said. They come first. The label agreed. Today, Kanye still makes music. But now, he shares the spotlight. He helps young artists get their start. He teaches, he listens, and he remembers where he came from. He may not live in a mansion anymore. He doesn't wear designer clothes every day. But he has something better. He has purpose. He has friends. He has peace. And he knows now that losing everything wasn't the end. It was the beginning of something beautiful. One day, Kanye stood on a small stage at the community center. It wasn't like the big concerts he used to play. There were no flashing lights or giant screens, just a few folding chairs, some kids with big smiles, and a small camera recording everything. He looked out at the crowd. There was Maya, sitting in the front row with her notebook open. A boy named Jaden tapped his foot to the beat. And behind them stood parents, teachers, and even neighbors who had heard about the music coming from this little place. Kanye took a deep breath and said, "This song is for everyone who's ever felt lost and found something better." The music started. The kids sang backup. Their voices weren't perfect, but they were full of heart. As Kanye rapped, he smiled, really smiled. For the first time in years, after the song ended, everyone clapped and cheered. Some kids jumped up and down. Others hugged each other. One little girl ran up and gave Kanye a high five. "Best show ever," she said. Kanye laughed. "Yeah, best show ever." Later that night, Kanye sat outside with Maya. They watched the stars and talked about dreams. "I want to be just like you," Maya said. Kanye shook his head. "No, be better than me." Maya looked confused. "Why?" "Because I made mistakes," he said. "I forgot what mattered most. You're already ahead of me, because you know how important people are." Maya thought for a moment. "But you're helping us now. That makes you a good person." Kanye smiled softly. "Thanks, Maya." Soon, more people wanted to hear the music from the community center. Reporters came. Bloggers wrote about it. Even famous singers reached out. One day, a message arrived from a big music festival. "We want you to perform," it read. Kanye read it twice. He could go back to the big stages, but he didn't want to do it alone, so he called the kids together. "We got an offer," he told them. "We can play at a big music festival. If you want to come with me." The room exploded with excitement. "Yes!" Maya shouted. "Let's do it," yelled Jaden. Kanye laughed. "Then we'd better start practicing." Weeks later, they stood backstage at the festival. Thousands of people filled the fields. Lights shone bright. Cameras rolled. Kanye looked at the kids. They were nervous but excited. "You ready?" he asked. They nodded. "Remember," he said, "this isn't about being perfect. It's about sharing your truth." And then they walked onto the stage. The crowd roared. Kanye stepped to the mic and said, "This one's for everyone who believes in second chances." The music played. The kids sang. And for the first time in a long time, Kanye didn't care if he was the biggest star on stage, because he finally understood that the best part of life wasn't fame or fortune. It was love. It was giving. It was making someone else's dream come true. And as he looked out at the smiling faces in the crowd, especially the ones standing beside him, he knew he had everything he needed.